During Christmas, I had 2 weeks free from school. And instead of doing anything productive, like recording on YouTube or writing scripts or whatever, I just sat back and watched some Netflix show. Maybe recording on YouTube would be hard because my sister was at home, but it still was doable. But instead of that, I chose to watch some TV show. I mean, the show was quite nice and quite entertaining, but I sat back and realized that I have wasted so much fucking time. And I felt empty after watching this, even though it gave me so much entertainment. I felt the way you feel after jerking off. Like, you feel this regret, you feel this sadness, you don't like the act that you've just done. You don't like it. You don't like the way that you feel right now because you deep down know that what you just did wasn't good, that it wasn't productive, and that you could have done something better. You could have done something more. I felt so fucking bad after watching this show. I wasted 2 weeks of my life. And I think many of you might resonate with me, that you have so much free time, and instead of doing anything good, you just fall into consumerism. You consume content, you consume all these things, you buy products instead of selling them. It's consumption. Everywhere you look, you consume. You don't record on YouTube, you just watch such videos. You don't record TV shows, of course you don't, but you watch them. You buy stuff instead of selling stuff, and it only keeps you poor and sad. Because if you realize that these things aren't even that fun. Do you even remember the last video you've watched? The last entertainment video that you've watched? You might have been watching YouTube all day long today, and I bet you won't remember 2 videos that you've watched. And I don't mean self-improvement videos, because these are the ones that are actually meaningful. The ones that I create, and that other people in my niche create. But all the other entertainment stuff, if you watch them, I bet that you don't remember them, that's first of all. And second of all, you don't feel good after watching them. And I want you to realize that it's not even that fun. Like, think about it. The anticipation of jerking off might be fun, but once you're done, you're like, why the fuck did I just do that? You feel bad. You feel like dirty. You feel like you shouldn't have done the thing that you've just done. And you know that these things are not even that fun anyways, but you still come back and do them. That's what consumption feels like. This emptiness. You can spend all day long seemingly having fun, and you end the day off with just being sad and feeling like you've wasted your time. That's the way I felt a few months ago. Like, I'd be recording on YouTube, I'd still be doing these good habits, but a huge part of my day would be watching YouTube and wasting my time on entertainment. I lived like this. I used to live like this. And I'm telling you, I will never ever fucking come back to the life of consumption. That made me so unhappy with the way that I am. Even though these things weren't even that fun, I still would be doing them. I still would be watching this stuff. But not only does consumption feel bad, but it also doesn't give you shit. Like, honestly, it's just wasted time. You might say that it relaxes you and that it makes you calmer or whatever, but in practice, there's plenty of better ways to relax than watch entertainment. Just realize that consumerism doesn't give you shit, and that it only wastes your time on this earth. I said in one of my last videos that my biggest fear in life is to wake up one day and realize that I have wasted my time. And consumerism is nothing but wasting time. It's nothing but wasting your life. And of course, watching a movie with your girlfriend isn't bad. And it's good time spending together. But if you do it yourself, just all alone, it's just wasted time. And you have no benefit in that. And there's plenty of ways that you could replace that consumerism. So the real way is to be a producer, not a consumer. It's the main point from the Millionaire Fastlane, on which the camera stands, so I'm not gonna take it out. But I have that book and I have read it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I have read it 2 times. That book, and it's the most important thing that I've learned from that book, is to be a producer, not a consumer. And that people who get rich and get happy aren't the consumers. The people who get rich are producers. No matter how much money you spend on things, you're not gonna get richer. You're only gonna get poorer and poorer. And why don't you just flip it? Why don't you just become a producer and you become wealthier and wealthier and even more fulfilled? So there is 5 points why being a producer is actually a very, very fucking good thing. The first point, it's meaningful. Even if it's dropshipping, which seems like, oh, it's bad, you have no soul, you're reselling this stuff for way higher price, you're scamming people. No, they are not scamming people. I myself am not a dropshipper, but think about dropshipping. It's importing stuff from China, waiting like a month, and then giving people the product in a few days. So people spend more money on the time that the product gets to you. So it's actually like dropshipping is a good thing. It's being, first of all, a producer, and second of all, they are reselling stuff for hire, for their headache of getting the product to their hands in less time. And if somebody really wanted to spend less money, they would just get on one of these websites from where the dropshippers got them and just sell and just buy straight from them, straight from the suppliers. So even such a soulless act like dropshipping, soulless producer act like dropshipping isn't actually that bad. And it's actually a good thing both for the producer and the consumer. Of course, for the consumer it's bad because it's still a consumer, but they get the product that they want in less time. So being a producer is meaningful and it helps others. Like me, like I'm recording these videos to help you. I want you to learn stuff that it took me time to learn, and it took me hard times and it took me hard moments and hard past to learn, so that you don't have to repeat the same mistakes that I did. And one of the biggest mistakes that I have ever made was being a consumer, not a producer. So recording stuff on YouTube, it's meaningful. Producing this, it is meaningful. The second point is that it feels good. It feels good to finally not spend all day long on bullshit tasks that won't give me anything. It feels good to be productive. You look up to people who are productive. We, men on self-improvement, seek productivity. We feel good after doing good work. So it feels really, really good to be a producer. And comparing that to being a consumer, like, it's crazy how bad consumerism is once you start producing. The first thing is that it doesn't fuck up your dopamine baseline. Dopamine baseline is your baseline of dopamine. And when you do something that boosts your dopamine up, like jerking off, or like consuming content, which is not like this, which is like flashy, like Mr. Beast, it boosts your dopamine up, and then it crashes down below the baseline. And then the new baseline is slightly lower, and lower, and lower. So every time you jerk off, you boost your dopamine, and then there is a dip below the baseline. And then this dip becomes the new baseline. And consumerism, that's what consumerism does. That's what consumption does. It drags your baseline down. And being a producer, on the other hand, doesn't do that. By not consuming stuff, your baseline gets higher and higher and higher because you're not having this constant rise and down and these huge dips. You're not having these huge dips of dopamine. Your dopamine doesn't crash below the floor. No. It constantly either goes up or stays still or goes slightly down. But it's never a huge up and down. Maybe it's a huge up when you see the fruits of your labor finally pay off. But it's never a big down, so it doesn't crash your dopamine baseline. I have made a few videos about dopamine detox. I really recommend you watching them because dopamine detox is something that has genuinely changed my life. For the past few weeks, I don't know, 3 or 4, I haven't consumed content even once. I had a few days ago, I had a nightmare that I have clicked a video that wasn't meaningful, that was just consuming. It was in my nightmare, and I woke up and was like, oh my god, I'm so happy that it isn't reality. I'm so repelled by consuming. So watch my video on dopamine detox, and I'm telling you, it is gonna genuinely change your life. The fourth reason why being a producer is a good thing is because it might bring you wealth in the future. There's consumers and producers, and who gets rich? The producers. Because the consumers buy from the producers. It's like painfully obvious. So by being a producer, you get rich. If you do it right, you get rich. And most of the time you do. So comparing that to being a consumer, which doesn't give you shit honestly, which only makes the producers richer and only keeps you poorer, how about you become a producer and you get richer and richer? Of course, you can consume stuff that actually makes you better, like self-improvement videos. I watch them like crazy. But I also implement stuff from these videos. I'm not just jerking myself off. It's very important. I also made a video about it. But being a producer just makes you rich by necessity. If you produce something, you rarely produce it with no benefit on your side, just for free. Even this video, it is for free, but once I get many subscribers and many views, I could monetize this channel. So me as a producer, even though now I don't make any money, I don't have any courses, I don't sell anything, it still makes me rich in the future. It still has that potential to make me rich. But just watching YouTube won't give me anything. It doesn't have any potential. And the fifth point is that it teaches you responsibility. Whether it's selling on Amazon or producing content, you must be mindful of the things that you do. For once in your life, you must be mindful of what you say. You must be mindful of what you sell. You must be mindful of all these processes so that your customer doesn't report you or whatever. It teaches you to be the man that you're always supposed to be. It makes you more mature. It like grows you up. It teaches you to be more responsible because your words and your actions now actually bear any consequence. So it teaches you responsibility. And the more responsibility you have, the more responsibility you take on yourself, the more masculine you are, the more leader-like you are. And to be masculine, it means to be a leader. So the more responsibility you take on yourself, the more masculine you are. If I want you to remember anything from this video, is to be a producer, not a consumer, to get on dopamine detox. Watch my video on it. I'm telling you, it is gonna absolutely change your life. Thanks for watching. Type in comments your questions. Subscribe. Like the video if you found it helpful and if you think that some people might be helped by it as well. And see you guys till next time.